In this lesson, we will make our scene animator friendly. So guess what? Our rig is finished. It's now time to hide objects animators should not see. So to make this easier on us, let's go ahead and hide our model, just so we can search for any objects that might be hidden with the model displayed. So take a look, we have these locators here we can hide. Let's go ahead and grab those. We'll hold down shift to grab the locators connected to the right leg. And now we'll just go ahead and set the visibility channel to 0. Keep in mind, if you ever need to get back to these objects, just go ahead and grab the control objects that they are nested underneath. At that point, you can go to your outliner and press the F key to find those objects, and once you expand the hierarchy of those controls, you'll be able to find them. Fantastic. Now we'll go ahead and hide our IK handles. So let's go ahead and shift select them. They should be pretty easy to select as long as we select right on top of the handle. If you're still having trouble, remember you could always use the outliner. These also have been parented underneath our animation controls, so you should have no trouble hiding these. Alright, sweet. So let's go ahead and set the visibility to 0, and now it's time to hide our joints. Let's go ahead and bring the model back for this. We'll start with the thighs. So with them both selected, we can go to the visibility channel here, set it to 0, and there we have it. Now, the arms are a bit trickier because you can see we have a few pieces parented to our end joints, right? No worries, let me go ahead and show you another way you can hide your joints. So this is via the attribute editor. I'll go ahead and start with the left shoulder. With that selected, let's go ahead and press Ctrl A. Underneath the joint drop-down, take a look, we have a parameter called Draw Style. So right now, it's set to bone, which is default. But we have a few other choices. We have multi-child as box. What does that mean? What that means is if our parent joint here has more than just one child, its display will be set to box. And sometimes that's convenient because a lot of times the shape can overlap in a way where it's really difficult to see what's going on the rig. And that happened actually in the indie game development series with the boss. We had a lot of joints that created this overlap display, and it was really difficult to see what was what. So what I did was I went in and I changed the draw style to multi-child as box, and that helped. Let me go ahead and give you an idea as to what this does. If I were to go ahead and grab the shoulder and set this to multi-child, and then if I were to grab the forearm and duplicate it, now take a look at how the draw style has changed on the shoulder. Sweet, so that's all that does. I'll go ahead and press the Z key to undo back. So take a look, we have another option, and this is the option we will use. It's known as None. So we'll go ahead and use that to hide joints that we do not want to see. Let's also use it to hide our wrist joint here. Nice. Now we don't need to use this option for our gun rig, simply because there's nothing parented to these joints. So we can go ahead and grab each root, and then we can set the visibility to 0. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and do the same thing on the right side. Again, we'll go to our shoulder. Let's go ahead and set the display to None for the shoulder, forearm, and for our character's wrist joint. Nice. And then, of course, for our gun rig, let's go ahead and grab those joints. If you're having trouble seeing them, feel free to just go to your show menu and hide polygons. But you can now go ahead and grab all 3 roots, head back to your channel box, and set the visibility here to 0. Fantastic. And I'll go ahead and bring back polygons. Important, right? Because we need to see our cool mech. Here's something else I like to do. I like to just go in and hide the wireframe. That way it adds more realism to the model. It's almost like, alright, we're actually moving this mech. And that's what we should think about as we start to animate it, especially for the final sequence. That'll be really fun. And now we can basically reference our display layer so that we cannot select our model, but we can select our controls. How cool is that? So we now have a way of quickly going in and grabbing our controls for animation. And remember, our arm controls and leg controls can rotate, so if we need to add a bit of a twist, we most certainly can do so. And then we can build on top of that. We can animate the claws opening up and then the guns coming out. This is going to be a lot of fun. How exciting. All right, let's go ahead and set the transform channels and our custom channels back to 0. This is also another really important step. You just want to kind of go through and test your rig just to make sure everything works as desired. So we'll just go ahead and kind of move the legs around. Let's make sure they're working properly, and there we have it. So that is it for our rig. Let's say we jump into the next lesson and get started on animation.